transfers can move quickly in football. A week ago it was all Wesley, then it was Fabricio Bruno, now it is Guilherme. Just a few days ago we were strongly linked to him. Yesterday it was a case of West Ham were trying to sign him for €30 million, and last night Fabrizio Romano put up an update saying that we've agreed terms with the player. He said West Ham are closing in to sign Brazilian talent Guilherme. Exclusive details of the official bid submitted. €30 million fixed fee plus 20% sell-on clauses. Negotiations at the final stages. Here we go, expected soon. He went on to add, he said West Ham are pulling out all the stops this summer already, and they're in advanced talks with the brilliant 18-year-old Guilherme. In Brazil, however, you always have to be careful until the deal is sealed, even when it seems that talks are going well. Now, he's going to throw that little disclaimer in after Fabricio Bruno, isn't he? Because during the week he said, Fabricio Bruno, here we go, which is obviously what he says when it is a done deal and everything's confirmed. So he went a bit too soon on that one, as we've discovered. Although the deal's not dead yet, negotiations are taking place over the personal terms. He's being careful with this one, is Fabrizio Romano. Some people will take it with a pinch of salt, given the Fabricio Bruno, who I keep getting muddled up. I did a video the other day and I meant to say Fabrizio Bruno and I said Fabrizio Romano. Too many Fabrizios here. Maybe I should just start referring to them as Romano and Bruno. Keep them separate. But that centre-back deal is not dead. But the one that is well and truly alive is this one for Guilherme. Now, Andre Hernan, who is a journalist over in Brazil, has been over this one as well. And he said that West Ham have made the best offer to Guilherme in terms of the player, his family and his management. They're all satisfied with the personal terms offered by West Ham. It's now a case of, can the two clubs agree something? But as Fabrizio Romano says, €30 million plus a 20% sell-on clause. That's the latest, and it feels like it's going to get done. However, I did say this about Fabrizio Bruno as well. So let's be careful on this one. It's exciting news, actually. It is quite exciting. Anyway, before we go any further, please do subscribe new around here, because one of you guys that have subscribed to this channel will win a signed shirt in a couple of weeks' time. Do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up, and also at the end of the video I'm going to tell you how you can win this shirt. It's a match-worn shirt by a West Ham player. Very rare because of the poppy. I'll tell you about it at the end of the video. Right, in regards to Guilherme. Now, my opinion on the player hasn't changed since yesterday. I've not seen him. I haven't seen him play a game of football since the video yesterday. I'm quite excited by it. But I often say that when you're linked with a player you've not heard of or you haven't seen much of, I think your excitement can be greater. Because when you're away to sign a player that you know a lot about, it can be capped for obvious reasons. You already have an opinion on that player. So we'll go back to last summer. It's the perfect example. We've got three players here that were, well, all four of them, I guess. But Kudus and Alvarez had similar ones for me. The Kudus one I was really excited about because of my opinion on the player. I thought he was a top talent. And I thought he was a bit of a coup for West Ham. I was reluctant to believe it was going to happen until it was done. So I was really excited because of my opinion. Ward-Prowse, I was okay with the transfer because of my opinion on the player. I thought he was an average Premier League midfielder. I thought we were paying a lot of money for somebody that perhaps wouldn't have much resale value. He had a really good season, but I think I got what I expected from James Ward-Prowse in general at West Ham last season. But my excitement was capped. Mavropanos, however, didn't really have much of an opinion, so my excitement was greater. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. The one thing I will say about this is why we brought in Tim Steidten. There's a huge risk attached to this. €30 million for an 18-year-old with just 40 appearances. I guess everybody's going to have their own opinion, because this could be a complete disaster, or you could be signing the next Neymar and everything in between. Anything's possible with this one. And this is what you want your director of football to do. I know he's technical director, but let's go with it. That's his job duties anyway. His duties, he's in charge of the transfer window this time round, Steidten. You put your neck on the line. This is it. You be bold, you make your signings, and you back yourself, and you have to back yourself. I think the last thing you want for the guy in charge of your transfers to do is to hesitate, to be reluctant, to dither a little bit. You've had all season, you've had ages to get ready for this transfer window. Now we can expect some action, and we're getting it here. In regards to Guilherme, like I said, it could be a complete disaster, but it could be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to finding out. At Leverkusen, there was a couple of examples of this type of transfer. One didn't work. And the ones that did, Palacios, Hincapié, although he wasn't as expensive, he was just a handful of million, but they came from South America to Leverkusen and they've worked out incredibly well for them, especially Palacios. I think he's the sort of complete midfielder. Tapsoba, not so much. He came from Portugal, but again, limited appearances. I think Palacios was nearer 100 appearances when Leverkusen signed him, but it was still under 100 professional games, senior games, when Leverkusen went and got him. Tapsoba, round about the same. I think when they got him from Portugal, I think he was round about the 40, 50 appearances or something like that. So buying a player that hasn't played that many games, but that's not what he's buying. He's not buying them for experience, he's buying them for potential. Now, the one that I can recall hasn't worked out is Paulinho. They signed him as a striker from Brazil, 15, 20 million. Had a tough time with injuries though in Germany. He's gone back to Brazil. He ended up leaving on a free transfer, so it was a bit of a disaster for Leverkusen. However, 1 in 3 sort of big signings where you pay a bit of money to get them over, and 2 worked out really well, and one's been a no-go. That's an okay success rate, given how good Palacios and Hincapié have gone on to be for Leverkusen. You just look at how they contributed to the season. I do wonder, I'm reading as much as I can about this guy actually, and I do wonder what the plan is with him, and this is where you guys have an opinion of him. Please do get involved in the comments, but I do genuinely read them. Someone put up a really good write-up yesterday about Jota Silva, who we've been linked to a little bit, and it's good. That's how I learn. So I've been reading as much as I can about him, and I'll be doing a video during the week with somebody who is, I'm going to call him, a South American expert. He's a journalist, he's a pundit in South American football. It's not Vickery, can't afford him at Hammers Chat, there's no chance that's happening, right? But it's somebody else that I think is just as good and just as clued up. So I'll be getting his opinions on Guilherme, Wesley as well, Fabricio Bruno, and any other Brazilian we might be linked to in the next few weeks. Well, next few days. A few weeks is happening this week, so it'll be the next few days. Ask him about them too, so we'll get his opinion on it. But the more I read, the more I'm intrigued as to what the plan is, because next season, because of the price tag, you automatically feel, well, he's going to be part of the first team. What's the plan here? Because we can't afford to spend 30 million on players to not play in the first team next season. We just can't. We're not in that position. I think we'll have a decent transfer budget. I know it's been downplayed by some people, but I think it'll be over 50, nearer the £100 million mark maybe, prior to any sales. I think we've got a decent kitty this summer. We're one of the few Premier League clubs that can actually buy before they sell. But it's still a massive outlay. So what's the plan for him? And that's my big question, because most people are suggesting that his best performances thus far have come on the right hand side. He's left footed on the right hand side, so it's sort of the Jared Bowen position, and I guess the Kudus position as well. Some have suggested he'd be better centrally, some have suggested he'd be better as a sort of centre midfielder even. But I guess this is why you buy him, because you can then mould him to how you want to be at just 18 years of age. But is this the guy that's going to replace Mohamed Kudus is my big question, or are we perhaps intending on using Jared Bowen as a striker and he's going to come in, and are we going to move Kudus to the right and this guy's essentially going to be the understudy to Mohamed Kudus for next season? That's the big questions I've got. What is the plan with him? Or is it just a case of Tim Steidten reckons that this guy is the bee's knees, he's the next big thing to come out of Brazil, so we have to have him, and then you hand him over to the manager and say, make it work. Now you decide. I, as director of football, have identified this guy that could go on and become the next big thing. It's your job as head coach to extract all that potential out of him, turn him into a first team player at West Ham. You, as the head coach, you decide what his best position is and make it work. And that's the dynamic I'm looking for between Steidten and Lopetegui this summer. And the proof will be in the pudding. In 12 months' time, in 24 months' time, we'll look back at this transfer window and we'll decide if it's a success or not. I try and leave things on a 12-month cycle a little bit. I think when you buy players, so the players we buy this summer, you'll judge them during the season, of course, but it's their second season I'm really interested in. Right, can they kick on? Like Mavropanos. He hasn't had the best season, he hasn't had the worst season. He's been alright. I think he's shown a lot of potential. He's had some good performances, but he's had some concerning performances as well for us this season. I'm willing to write that off to some extent. So right now I'm going to judge him this time round, the second season. Obviously there's a curveball thrown in that we've ditched Moyes and got Lopetegui in, so there's a change of management there. But this is the one I'm really going to look at Mavropanos. The next year for Guilherme, it's almost like I've got zero expectations here. I've got a bit of excitement. I've got a little bit of worry, I guess, but I think that's just attached to the fact that we're signing an 18-year-old for 30 million euros. There's a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype which feeds into the excitement of it. But if this is Tim Steidten's number one guy and Wesley was just a smoke screen, that's possible, then great. I'll be shocked if we sign both. I would be shocked if we sign Guilherme and Wesley. Guilherme and Fabricio Bruno, sure, of course, two different positions, but to sign this guy plus the left winger, I'm not so sure. But then again, if we do get Guilherme, I feel like we still need that left winger, unless the plan is to just play Kudus there or Paqueta. And I know obviously there's the better investigation going on, but unless it's resolved pretty quickly, he's going to be available to play. He'll be playing for Brazil at Copa America. They basically said that he's been charged, but he's not been found guilty, so we're going to play him. Paqueta spoke out very briefly about it today, I think, or last night, basically saying, I'm not going to comment on it, it's in the hands of my team, and I'm not guilty, and I'm upset that I've been charged, and that's all he said, really. And it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in terms of performances, but I think it would be fair to assume Paqueta will be available for the first couple of months of the season, at least, because he'll plead not guilty to these charges, which he's got until Monday. Monday he's got to respond. I'd imagine he's already responded by now, but it doesn't mean the hearing will be set pre-season. It might be during the season or something. Anyway, we'll have a plan for that left winger. We might still need another one. I would just be surprised if we decided to bring in two players from Brazil unknown to the league and hope that one of them work out. I'd be surprised and a bit concerned by that, truth be told. But there you go. West Ham have agreed personal terms with Guilherme, according to Andre Hernan. Fabrizio Romano has also claimed that and said that the deal is close between the two clubs. So maybe this will be West Ham's first summer signing. It was Fabricio Bruno, then it was Wes Foderingham. We still might sign both of those, but now it looks like it might be Guilherme. I'm sure there's more to come. There'll probably be a new update tomorrow. Actually, Monday. I often find with transfer rumours, they mysteriously quieting down during the weekend. I'm not suggesting journalists like to work Monday to Friday and they don't get involved during the weekends. I'm not suggesting that. It's just a coincidence that transfer rumours are just a little bit lesser. Anyway, today I was going to be talking about Daniel Kutinsky, but we'll save that for Monday maybe. I'll be live tomorrow, 9 AM. on this channel with Charlie. We'll be interacting with the live chat and we're getting your thoughts on the players we're being linked to, what you want to see in the transfer window. Be a bit of a transfer window chit chat because obviously the last week was dominated by Lucas Paqueta, so tomorrow will be dominated by transfer rumours. So if you're around at 9 AM tomorrow, please do come back. Now, you want to find out how you can win this shirt, stick around. If not, this is the time where you depart. But before you go, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're around here, because there will be a signed shirt. Nearly got that mixed up. That would have been iffy for the broadcast on YouTube. There'll be a signed shirt up for grabs in a couple of weeks. Right, off you go. See you at 9 AM. But for those nosy people who want to get this shirt, it is a match worn shirt. We're giving it away on Patreon in June. All you have to be is a paid member of our Patreon during this month. Whether you join up today, the 10th or the 30th, it does not matter. You will automatically be entered into the draw. Now, we cannot call it a raffle because they are technically illegal. They're a form of gambling. If we were to say pay £5 and you get a ticket and we'll draw one ticket out and someone will win it, that is technically gambling, so you can't do that. So we can't say join Patreon, it's part of a raffle. We can't say that, but you can say that. Anyway, if you go to Patreon, you get loads of stuff. You get videos, online store discount, we do a Q&A with a person of interest where you ask the questions, etc, etc. Prediction competitions, albeit not during the month of June because there's no games. We've got our UEFA Fantasy Football, UEFA Predictor League, where there's signed shirts up for grabs on both competitions. So you go to patreon.com/HammersChat, you can join up. Links in the description below, and I put it in the pinned comments as well. But this shirt is match worn by Slim Geo. Aaron Creswell is match worn by Aaron Creswell, and when West Ham played Fulham back in 2020, I think it was the game when Lookman did his dink. You know, the guy just banged in a hat trick in the Europa League. He tried to chip Fabianski at the pen, didn't he? And he just caught it. Bit embarrassing for the boy, but Creswell played in that game and he wore this exact shirt. Again, look it up on Getty Images for authentication. That is the shirt he wore. It's in my hands, and we'll be giving it away to one of our Patreon members during the month of... Well, we do the draw in July, but somebody that joins up in June. Next month, though, on Patreon, we're giving away a match-worn Jared Bowen shirt. So if you fancy getting involved, go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Massive thank you to anybody who does join up. It really supports us, especially during the summer months when there's no football. Content's a bit less, revenue's a bit less, and that's what happens. The last 2 years we've been doing this. In June, July, our revenue dips, so it can be a bit... So that's why we've invested in these shirts and we're giving them away on Patreon. Right, anyway, now I'm going to shut up and disappear. Get your thoughts below about Guilherme, and I'll catch up with you at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. See you then.